When you're buying your home, one of the most satisfying things you can possibly do is to get your offer accepted when you are not the highest price in a multiple offer situation. And in this video, we're going to break down how exactly you can do that. We want to make sure you're getting the best price possible without paying the most money, but we also want to make sure you get your offer accepted. So we have several different strategies, and we're going to break this down. If you are watching this video first, this is number 3 in a 4-part video series. So if you have not watched numbers 1 and 2 yet, I highly recommend going and doing that first. But let's go ahead and dive in. My name is Christian, and I am a team leader of Onyx Homes, which is a real estate team that has helped over 600 people move in the last handful of years. And in this video, we are going to be talking about how we can get your offer accepted without just paying the most money. So in the last couple of videos, we talked about how to do your research phase, how to get prepared, and a lot of that was financing. Now we're going to talk about how to leverage the 150 plus terms that are in a deal, and only one of those is price. And most people are only bartering back and forth on price. But let's dive in. So again, this is part 3 of 4. So if you haven't watched the other 2, I highly recommend it. So let's get here. So how to write the perfect offer. There's 3 things that are included in the offer itself. So number 1 is the actual pre-approval letter. So when we talked in the last video about the different types of approvals, anytime you submit an offer, it's not like you just punt an email over to the agent and pray for the best. We package an offer together that makes you look as good as possible. And if you're working with us, we want to make sure we look as good as possible and you look as good as possible. One of the major reasons we do a buyer strategy session with all of our buyers is we want to make sure you are comfortable and confident and ready to do all the things you need to do. So one of those is getting pre-approved. The second thing is getting proof of funds. So basically this just means that you are showing that you have the amount of money you need in order to close the actual deal. This isn't a handshake type thing. We want to make sure that we are packaging up your offer as good as possible so that you can offer less on the price. The last thing is the residential purchase agreement, which is the contract itself that is used on every single deal in California. So let's dive in. Structuring your actual offer. This is a huge one because most people only focus on price. And it is a massive mistake. If you are focusing only on price, you're not negotiating, you're bartering. So on price, you have obviously the price of the home, right? You have purchase price. However, on terms, you have close of escrow. Let me do bullet points here. Hello? Right? We have close of escrow. So I'm gonna walk you through these as well too. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna explain the different terms. I don't have to explain price because I think we all understand what price is, the price you're offering for the house. I'm gonna explain what these different terms are and how we use these terms to save you tons of money. So when we're structuring an offer, one of the first things is your close of escrow timeline. So in another video, we're going to talk about what is escrow, which is what happens when you actually get into escrow. But let me open up another page here because I want to make sure that this is clear. Close of escrow. So escrow is a timeline. So we are here and we are getting to, house, right? There's your house. So this is a timeline. And let me give 2 totally different examples. Example number 1 is a vacant home. And example number 2 is a full, let's say, family. Meaning everybody's living there. The home is occupied. So on a vacant home, it might be a huge benefit for a fast close. So if a house is vacant, you can pretty much guess that they want the home to close as fast as possible. So that might be a good thing, which is going to help you negotiate for a lower price. Now, if you had a fast close and a full family, that might be a bad thing. So this would make your offer look actually worse if you had offered a really fast close to a family that's house is totally full. If you said, hey, we close in 10 days and they have to pack, move everything, they don't know where they're going, that would be a bad thing. So the pro tip here is you want to offer, I'll say this, what the seller wants. And this requires negotiation, tact, and context, right? On behalf of your agent. And if you're representing yourself, then there's too many things to talk about in one video. But that number one is your fast close will determine if it's good or bad, depending on what the seller actually wants. Your other thing is, on top of close of escrow, another term that we could talk about is your possession. What do I mean by possession is when you get the keys. So you have your timeline for closing, but if the vacant house, this is, they likely don't need anything for possession, but you might have a much better offer here if you had a fast close plus 2 months. Now let me explain what that means. So your fast close went from a bad thing to a really good thing. If you said, hey, I can close in 10 days, 15 days, and I'll give you 2 months to stay in the house, let's just say for free. Maybe that's a huge benefit to this particular offer. So you took one thing that could have been a bad thing of a fast close, and you said, hey, we'll close on this house in the next 15 days. You get your money on day 15, but you get 60 more days in the house, and I won't even charge you for it. So they don't have a mortgage, they don't have any expenses, they have their money in the bank from selling the house, and they get to stay there for free for 2 months. Now, does this mean that you have risk as the buyer? Sure, but this might be inherently way more valuable, and maybe you're going to be paying a mortgage of 2 months on this. But let's just say, I don't know, let's say it's $10K. It's going to cost you to close in 15 days and let them stay for 2 extra months. You might get a lower price. You might be $50K less on price because your terms made the offer so much better. Because this is convenience for the seller, right? This here might be worth you being way less on price. But if you just said, I will close in 45 days, right? I don't want to really erase this, but like you could have just said, let's say we can't even do what with a 60, 75 day close. That's not good, right? This would be bad. Instead of offering the fast close with the free possession, because certainty, low certainty. Did I spell that wrong? Whatever, doesn't matter. You get the point. And what I mean by low certainty is anything can happen. Right? You might cancel a deal on day 74, and if they need your funds to buy their next property, which if they're living in this and selling it, they probably do, then you made their move even harder. These are things that make your price much, much lower when you can make a seller happier. Okay, so there's number 2 is possession. Here is another term is your actual so close of escrow, your initial deposit is another one. Whoa, that's ugly. Let me rewrite that. Your initial deposit might be another one. Let me give a quick example with this one. Is if you have 2 offers. Let me open another page here. Let's say you have 2 offers. Offer number 1. Offer number 2. So if this person says they're going to offer $1 million, which is the asking price, let's just say, and offer number 2 is going to offer $975. Okay, so we got price, we got that figured out. Okay, now for terms over here, let's say they've got a 30-day close. COE is close of escrow. And over here, we've got a 15-day COE. We're going to build this together. let's say this is the family house, right? Let me write this in here. So family, and they want possession. They want time. Okay. And over here, we give them plus 60 days free. And this one is 30-day close of escrow. You got to move out at the end of 30 days. Okay, so far so good. We've got a couple terms we're talking about. Another one is initial deposit. So I'm going to call this EMD, which is earnest money deposit. Let's say they're offering $5,000 because they don't know what they're doing. And then you over here, because you hired us and you know what you're doing, you're going to do 3% purchase price, right? Which is the standard that we do for all of our clients if they can. It just shows you're more serious about buying the home. Okay, so we're writing two different offers. So that's your initial deposit. The next thing is your contingencies. These are the big one. Now I'm gonna scroll down here because I got this pulled up. So there are three major different types of contingencies. You have your homework phase. This is where you are doing your due diligence to see if you are comfortable buying the home. You have your appraisal contingency and then your loan contingency. So there's a couple of different things here. So on your are you comfortable with the home? This is where you're going to do, I call it your homework, but you're going to do inspections. Like your general. You're going to do roof. You're going to do termite. These are kind of the bare minimum that we do for all of our clients. And the last one is sewer. Right, so you're going to go do a general property inspection to figure out what's up with the house. You're going to do roof inspection, termite inspection. Every house has termites, just depends how much money it is. And then a sewer inspection. This is newer, but we recommend this because we've had so many clients save $25,000 by, spending the extra $700 or $800 for the sewer inspection. Totally worth it. Right, so that's all under inspections. Let me erase that just so we have some more room. So the other thing you're going to do is you're going to review seller docs. So your seller disclosures. So this is where they tell you what they know. The seller's going to tell you everything they know about the house, and this is where they are legally disclosing everything about the property, right? So that's one major thing as well. This is where you are making sure you're comfortable buying the home. We also are going to look at the title to make sure we're good there. Basically, just the title company's going to make sure the seller actually owns the house and you own it when you're good. So over here, I'm going to do green, right? So here we want to make sure that the loan is good and the appraisal comes in. So for the loan contingency, both of these are going to be completely dependent upon your lender. You choose. And this is where we talked about in the last couple of videos, is your lender is going to absolutely depend on how competitive they are, right? The lender you choose to work with is going to depend how competitive you can write. So when you're writing your offer, a good offer here, real quick. I explain this to all of our clients, is a short amount of time to do all of your homework is 5 days. Normal is 7. Long is 10. Right? This is for your homework phase. I'll say the standard is 17. Like on the contract, it's written in at 17 days. It absolutely does not take 17 days to do inspections. If you wrote your offer today and it got accepted tomorrow, we would be able to get inspections scheduled within the next 2 days, get reports back within a day, and then if we need to do any more inspections from there, we have 2 or 3 days left in order to do that. If you want to be short and more aggressive, 5 days is about the fastest we'd recommend. And if you want a little bit extra time, maybe the house is a little bit beat up, you could go with a little bit longer. Right, so this is your homework contingencies, and again, the standard is 2.5 weeks. It does not take that long. Appraisal contingency, it is going to 100% depend on your lender that you choose, right? Remember, we talked about this in the last episode, is if you pick a lender that's really, really slow because they're the cheapest, this might actually cost you money. So let's go here. So short is 0, like you remove your appraisal contingency. Normal is like 7 to 10, and then long is I don't know, 14 plus for the appraisal. Loan contingency, it's kind of the same thing. I'm just going to make this as the same. So, and again, your standard here are both 17 days. All right, so why am I explaining all of this? Because we're trying to get the best deal, right? Remember, we were talking about offer structure. I want to tell you what's included in the offer, which is not nearly as important, is how to save you money. Okay, so we're talking about contingencies here, right? We're talking about this. So we got two different offers. So offer number 1 is a 30-day close of escrow. They're offering $1 million. Offer number 2, $975K. So the inspection is 7 days. And these guys over here are doing standard. Loan appraisal. Loan appraisal, 17 days, 17 days. Loan appraisal. Okay. But because you're smart, you are getting a fully underwritten approval letter. So your loan contingency, you don't need one because you're fully underwritten. And your appraisal contingency, we can also remove in 7 days. So let me break down one more thing. Your approval, like let's just say letter, I'm going to write for space, is a pre-qualification. And your letter here is a fully underwritten. Right, you get the point. I think I can put it written. Got it. So, all right, we got two different offers. We have a 30-day close of escrow. So over here, we have 30-day close of escrow. I'm going to highlight this in pink. 30-day close of escrow, $5,000 deposit, 17-day inspection, loan appraisal, and a pre-qualification letter. Offer number 2, which is yours, is a 15-day close of escrow with 60 days free rent back, 3% earnest money deposit, 7 days all contingencies removed with no loan contingency, and we have a fully underwritten approval letter. So the question is, was it worth going above and beyond, getting ready, preparing to save $25,000? Well, the question is, do you get your offer accepted? And I will tell you, as an agent that lists a lot of properties and we look at a lot of different offers, if I'm the agent on the selling side and I see these two offers that come in, I have, let's just count the red flags. Major red flag here, major red flag here, major, let's see, I said 2, major red flag here, and this is, let's say, green flags, super convenient for the seller. Super high, what's the word? This is very high confidence that the deal is actually going to close. This is really high convenience, number 1. Number 2 is really high confidence the deal is actually going to close. Number 3, this should be standard. This is huge confidence that the deal is actually going to go through. And fully underwritten approval letter is a huge green flag as well too. So because two different buyers took two different routes as far as the offers that they structured, I see this price difference happen all the time. If I want to give you a few different case studies, let me share a very real example. So we had a case study. We had a buyer, first-time home buyer. They went through and did our buyer strategy session. And they wrote an offer just like what we just talked about. They wrote all of the terms that we do. They took all of our advice that we talk about in our buyer strategy session. This buyer had $75,000 lower than highest offer. 2, $65,000 less than appraised value. That very rarely happens. Number 3, I think this kind of goes without saying, beat out multiple offers. So if you look at this, our buyer went through and he literally, they saved at least $75,000. Now, the reason I say at least is because if this buyer would have just gone to the listing agent and say, "Hey, I love this house. What do I need to do? What do I need to do to get the deal done?" We were $75,000 below the highest price offer. So they could have just said, "Okay, well, if you come in $10K above the highest offer, we're good to go." And they probably would have had an offer something like this on the left, because they were not prepped to do the type of offer that they wrote. Then they would have paid $85,000 more for the house. They would not have had equity in the home when they bought it, which is what I mean by $65,000 less than appraised value. So because they took the steps to get prepared ahead of the time, they literally saved themselves at least $75,000, right? And that is why this is so, so, so important. So we talked about the different contingencies. We talked about the different types of offers. We literally see this all the time. We do this literally every week. We almost do this every day now. And the big takeaway I hope you have here is price is not the only term. You do not want to be bartering. You want to be negotiating. And negotiating means you have to go back and forth with multiple terms. Bartering is like at the swap meet where you say, "Hey, I'll buy that for $20," and they say it's priced at 50, and then you meet in the middle, going back and forth over and over. If you are meeting in the middle, you're not negotiating. So if you want to learn how we save our clients thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and keep you protected through the entire process, go to allaboutoc.com. You can learn more about how we do things. You can book a discovery call with one of our local experts, and we can help you with your home search. We can help you with the research. We can help you structure offers. And if you want to book a buyer strategy session, no cost, no obligation whatsoever. So this video was talking about how to write the best possible offers. The next video is going to be what actually happens after you get your offer accepted. So this was episode number 3 in the 4-part series. If you found this valuable, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in episode number 4.